What's good, YouTube? GamerZero coming at you with one of my biggest accomplishments yet to date in Master Duel. We ended up hitting D level max in the Duelist Cup. This is actually my very first time hitting D level max in the Duelist Cup, and I did it with a deck that is very underrated, and I did not run into anyone else running this deck at all. So we're gonna get into the deck profile right now. Deck we ended up taking into the Duelist Cup. We took the good old Salomon Greats. We came through. I could feel that they wanted to play. You know what I mean? The deck performed amazing. This deck has a lot of good matchups versus the meta, and is definitely a deck you should probably be trying to play if you at least want to get to stage two. I don't know if I'm gonna, if I do end up playing stage two, I don't know if I'm going to use this deck. I'll probably use a more uh, powerful deck because this deck is very powerful, but like I know in stage two it's going to be very try hard, so I'm probably going to need to use one of my try hard decks for that. But I had a very fun time using Salomon Greats and seeing all the different matchups, seeing if I could take this rogue deck and beat some of the meta decks, and I actually did. You know what I mean? So we ended up running Curry Card Div Incarnate. This card is amazing. You gotta use her, man. And her being a fire monster helped a lot since this deck is a fire attribute based strategy. And the synergies that she provides with this deck was very good. So I would definitely run this card. This card is essentially going to, like sometimes you'll play versus a guy that brings out like three negates and is like on monsters, by the way, three negates that are on legs essentially. Like, they'll have like a Borderland Dragon, Borderload Savage, and like something else. And then they just stop all your plays, and you're like, all right, Curry Card, Div Incarnate. Tribute all your guys, get them out of there. She's going to be real big and beefy, and she's going to be able to recur some things at the end phase of your turn from your opponent's graveyard. So she's definitely amazing, and I would run her in this format right now. She's very good. Then we have 3 Max C. You gotta run it. This is gonna help you stop your opponent from playing the game, or your opponent is going to foolishly play into it and you're gonna draw a bunch of cards. So Max C helped out a lot. And then of course Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is like one of the hard counters to Max C, and just a counter in general to stopping your opponent from doing quite a few things like adding cards from their deck to the hand, or sending a card from the deck to the graveyard, or special summoning from the deck. Ash Blossom is going to stop that. And then her being a fire monster helped out a lot too, because there's a play you can do to where you can recycle her and you can just keep getting her back and using her and messing your opponent up. Yes, Ash Blossom being a fire monster in this deck in particular was very good. Then we have 3 Salmon Great Foxy. Foxy is like a pseudo starter in this deck because basically when he's normal summoned, you can reveal 3 cards or excavate 3 cards from the top of your deck, and then you could get one Salmon Great card that you excavated and shuffle the rest back. But the thing is, if you don't reveal any Salmon Great cards, you don't get anything. So essentially, it'll just be sitting there, right? But he also has another effect to where if he's in the grave and there's a face-up spell or trap on the field, you can discard a Salmon card and special summon Foxy from your grave, and then you can destroy a spell or trap on the field. That came up a lot in this tournament. And the reason I say that is because the thing about Foxy, that effect of on Foxy, is when Foxy activates in the graveyard, your opponent has to respond to that card. Because if they don't respond to Foxy on activation, that whole special summon, then destroy 1 card, is all one effect. And it's already resolved essentially. So it's gonna happen. You cannot respond to it when he's summoning because it's all one effect essentially. So you will have to respond to Foxy in the graveyard, and most people don't want to do that because he's not that great. You know what I mean? They're like, Foxy, I don't care. But then when they start seeing what he can do, it becomes a problem. And this guy actually clutched me a few matches. In particular, the replay that I got to D level max, you'll see why he clutched the match for me. And then there was another one that I couldn't save the replay. I wish I could have. I was playing versus a Labyrinth deck. This guy ended up popping a skill drain on me, and Foxy came through and saved the day for me. So yeah, Foxy is definitely 3 of in this deck, and it's a level 3 which is going to help out with some other plays that we'll get into in a little bit. Then we have 3 Gazelle. Gazelle is amazing. He's not only an extender, but he sets up your combos too. He's an extender and he sets up your stuff. You have to run 3 Gazelle. This card is amazing for this deck. And of course, he is a level 3 monster. Then we have 2 Spinny, another level 3 monster in the deck. And basically, this guy is like an attack booster, and he's also an extender. I didn't really want to run 3 Foxy, or not Foxy, Spinny, but 2 is fine. And this guy is very good. And there's actually, because he has the effect to where when he's in a grave, you can special summon if you have a Salamangreat um, monster other than Spinny on your field. And but then he's gonna banish himself. But with the play that we usually do with him, we could make it to where we could actually keep that Spinny and keep recycling him. So Spinny is good, 2 is fine. Then we have 1 Falco, and now Falco is more of a utility card in this deck. Excuse me, to where basically if he's sent from to the graveyard in any way, you can take 1 Salamangreat spell trap from your graveyard and set it to the field. So he not only recycles, but he also has another effect where you can take a Salamangreat monster from your field and return it to the hand, and then special summon Falco from the graveyard. So he's like not really an extender. Like let's say one of your guys was like, I didn't use that effect at all, to be honest. Maybe once. I'm not too sure about that though. Like I said, I really just used him for his whole recycling effect. Now, if you don't want to run Falco, I suggest you run 2 of the next card we're going to talk about, which is Salamangreat Jack Jaguar. Jack Jaguar is a very good monster in this deck. 1, because he's 1800. There's a lot of decks in this game that cannot get over 1800. They have no monsters in their main deck that can get over 1800, which is why you see a lot of people running like Kashtira, 1 for bait and 2 for a beat stick, right? And so another reason Jack Jaguar is good is because he has piercing damage. So if he's attacking, he's gonna do some damage to defense position monsters. But the biggest thing about Jack Jaguar is that when Jack Jaguar is in the graveyard, you can target a Salamangreat monster in your graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck, except Jack Jaguar, and then you can special summon Jack Jaguar to your zone that your Salamangreat monster link monster points to. So we have a variety of the Salamangreat link monsters. So you see the arrows, the little red ones. I'll zoom in. See the little red arrows. You're gonna bring Jack Jaguar to any one of those arrows wherever they're pointing. We have this one, which is like an up and down one, and we have this one, which is like an up, down, left, right. So Jack Jaguar is an extender and a beat stick all in one. It's a very good card. Like I said, if you don't want to run Falco, you can run 2 Jack Jaguar, and I do highly advocate that if you don't want to run Falco. Then we have Foul. Foul is basically another beat stick, 1800, and he's an extender, like a little bit easier to work with than Jack Jaguar, right? Because basically, if a Salamangreat monster or monsters, except Foul is normal or special summon, you can just bring him out from your hand, right? Then he has another ability to where you can send a Salamangreat card from your hand or a face-up Salamangreat card on your field to the graveyard, and then you can target 1 set spell or trap your opponent controls. That set card cannot be activated this turn. That really didn't come up too much, probably like a few times. Reason being why it probably didn't come up as much as I wanted it is because 1, I wasn't facing that many decks with back row, and 2, I did tell you that I cut Lady Debugs. This is one of the cards I replaced Lady Debug for because I felt like I just wanted more extender. You know what I mean? So it probably would have came up more often if I had it in earlier, but I didn't. So, and then we have Nibiru, the Primal Being. This guy is stupid. This thing messes up over half of the decks in Master Duel. So yeah, this guy is dumb, and I highly suggest running this card because when your opponent summons 5 or more monsters in one turn, you can just tribute all their dudes, bring out Nibiru. You will probably give them like a very big token most of the time that has like a lot of attack and defense. But the thing is, that's all they'll have, and you have plenty of ways to deal with that token in this deck, a lot of ways. So Definitely run 2 to 3 Nibirus. That guy is amazing for ranked and for the Duelist Cup. So that's all the monsters. We're gonna go ahead and get into the spell cards. We got Harpy's Feather Duster. This is just for those decks that like to run a lot of back row, and this did come up quite a few times when it did, and it was good whenever it did come up. You can only run one, so why not? Then we have 2 Signet Mining. This card allows you to search for a level 4 lower Cyberse monster by sending a card from your hand to the graveyard. Now, that part, the send one card from your hand to the graveyard, does set up a lot of combos in this deck because remember, Salmon Great monsters do a lot of things while they're in the graveyard or if they're sent to the graveyard, right? And also, one thing I would do is like, let's say if I had one of these traps here, these traps, these Salmon Great traps, these are actually recyclable, so I could use Signet Mining to discard one of those traps and then get it back later. So in the same turn too. And you only can have 2 Signet Mining, but to be honest, I was originally only running 2 Signet Mining in this deck anyways. So the hit to 2 Signet Mining really did not affect this deck's consistency at all. If anything, it probably added a little more consistency because now I can actually run other cards. All right. So then we have Triple Tactics Talent. This card is definitely good. I think it's one of the best cards in Master Duel. You basically punish your opponent for trying to stop you from doing things. So if they activate a monster effect during your turn, it has 3 different effects to where you can either draw 2 cards, you can take control of a monster your opponent controls, or you could look at your opponent's hand, choose a card from it, and shuffle it into their deck. So basically, I would use that third effect a lot. That's probably what the most I use it for. I drew 2 cards, every now and then, but the look at my opponent's hand part was definitely the big one that I used a lot. The take control of one monster opponent controls, I think I used that maybe once. I didn't use that effect too much, but yeah, Triple Tactics Talent is probably one of the best cards in the game. Then we have Salamangreat Sanctuary. If you link summon a Salamangreat Link monster, you can use one Salamangreat Link monster you control with the same name as the entire material. So basically, let's say I have Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, to make him, you need 2 fire effect monsters to make this guy. But with Sanctuary on the field, you can just use one Sunlight Wolf to bring out another Sunlight Wolf. Or, you can use one Heat Leo to summon another Heat Leo. And you pretty much get the gist of that. And this card does have another effect, but that I probably used it maybe one time. That other effect is low key irrelevant. Um, I didn't use it, that second effect, like, we're pretty much at all. But definitely, this card is searchable with Balinks, so you need at least one. One is fine. Then we're running one Will of Salamangreat. I wish I would have seen this card more often because this card is amazing. But unfortunately, I had to cut it down to one due to deck space and consistency. And one Will of Salamangreat is okay. We It's essentially an extender, and it does have a second effect, but I never used it. I just used it for the extender capabilities. Will of Salamangreat is a very solid card. It is like searchable with Foxy. You can get it back with Sunlight Wolf, and it's a very good card. Trust me. If you see this card, you're going to be in a good position. Then we have 2 Call by the Grave. This stops Ash Blossom. This stops Max C. This stops any annoying cards or any other type of hand trap like Effect Veiler or any of the Ghost Girls. This stops annoying cards like stuff like if they're trying to recur their guys, you can Call by the Grave it. So yeah, you need to run the 2 Call by the Grave if you're planning on playing ranked or in the Duelist Cup. Then the last spell card in the deck is 3 Salamangreat Circle, and this is why 2 Signet Mining doesn't really affect this deck because we have a quick play card that can either search us a Salamangreat monster from our deck to our hand, or we can target a Salamangreat Link monster that was Link summoned using a monster with its same name as material, and that monster will be unaffected by monster effects. So this actually is the out to Nibiru because Nibiru is one of this deck's weaknesses because usually you'll bring out Sunlight Wolf on your 5th summon, and if you have Circle in hand on that 5th summon, that your opponent will not be able to tribute your Salamangreat monster. So this was definitely a very good card. I used it mostly for the search, but it did come up a couple times with that play I just mentioned with Nibiru, trying to bury you and you can circle your guy, right? So that is the spells we're going to be moving on. The traps, we have Infinite Impermanence. This is one of the most popular trap cards in the game. Reason being is because you can activate it from your hand if you control no cards, and you can activate multiple impermanences in your hand if you have them, as long as you control no cards. So, and then the other thing that it does is if this card is already set on the field and then you activate it, it'll essentially put a it'll lock one zone down. So if your opponent activates a card in that zone, like a spell or trap, it'll be negated. So you got to run Infinite Permanence, one of the most popular cards in the game. And then we're running two Solomon Great Rage. Reason I ran two is so you could actually see this card, because this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. So it has two different effects to where you could send a Solomon Great monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard and target a card on field destroyed. So that did come up a few times, but what really came up was that second effect. So where you could target a Solomon Great link monster you control that was link summoned using a monster with the same name as material, and you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to that monster's link rating. So we have a link 2 so that you can pop 2 cards. We have a link 3, you could pop up to 3 cards. And then we have a link 4 where you could pop up to 4 cards with Solomon Great Rage. So this card is amazing. It's searchable, it's recyclable, and you're gonna like popping cards is always good. You know what I mean? So Solomon Great Rage, I put it at 2 just so I could see it. Then we have Solomon Great Roar as the last trap card in the deck. This is essentially the best trap card in the deck. So when a spell or a trap card is activated or a monster effect and you have a Solomon Great Link monster on your field, you just negate and destroy that card. Negate the activation, destroy that card. And then it also has another effect to where if you link summon a monster to your field using a monster with the same name as material, you could set this card from the graveyard, right? But I used it probably like once or twice, that second effect, because you can recycle this card. That's the reason why you don't need to use that second effect. But I did use it like maybe a few times, and it might come up for you. And yeah, that's literally the entire main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. We have Solomon Great Mirage Stalio, the one Xyz monster in the deck. It takes 2 level 3s. You can detach material from this guy to spell summon a Solomon Great monster in defense mode from your deck, and that is very good because he essentially he has a built-in extending ability, right? And then also he has the ability to where if he's used for a link summon for a Solomon Great monster, you can send a monster, you can target one monster opponent controls and return it to their hand. So that did come up a couple times too. But really, I use Mirage Stalio for the whole extender portion of himself. And another thing that you also want to be wary of is that if you use his ability to special summon a Solomon Great from your deck, then you cannot activate any monster effects for the rest of the turn except fire monsters. So keep that in mind. I messed up a few times with that. So then we have 2 Bale Links. I ended up cutting it to 2 to run some other things in this deck, in this extra deck. But basically, this is the guy that's going to end up searching your Solomon Great Sanctuary for you. And also, the other effect he has is like probably one of the best effects in this deck for monsters. If this guy is in your graveyard and a Solomon Great card or cards you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it makes this deck even more powerful, even more of a presence when they can't destroy your stuff and they know you have stuff. It's a very good card. Now we have 3 Solomon Great Sunlight Wolf. You have to run 3 of this guy. This guy, when a monster or monsters is normal or spell summon to the zone this card points to, you can add a fire monster from your graveyard to your hand, but for the rest of this turn, you cannot normal summon or set or special summon monsters with the added monster's name. So you can get stuff like I said, Curry Card Div Incarnate, you can get Ash Blossom back, or you can get any of your Solomon Great monsters back from your hand to the graveyard, or back from your graveyard to the hand, I mean. And yeah, this guy is like one of the best link monsters in the deck. Then he has another effect to where the Solomon Great monsters have effects. When you use like them to link summon with the same material, the same name or whatever. So his ability is if sorry about that. Whoops. So his effect will be if you control this card that was linked summon using Salmagrave Sunlight Wolf as material, you can add one Salmagrave spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. So you can recycle your circles, you can recycle your will, your sanctuary, your rage, your roar. These are the ones you really want to be recycling. These two trap cards here, just to keep applying pressure to your opponent, keep stopping their plays. So this guy is probably one of these. He's like the second best link monster in the deck, I would say. But he's one of the ones that you're commonly going to be using because he's easy to make and his effect is just very good, right? And you need to run three. There's no questions, ifs, ands, or buts about that. Then we have one Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker, I use this to link climb into either Decode Talker Heat Soul because this guy needs two Cyberse monsters with different attributes, or I use it to link climb into Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax or Access Code Talker, right? And yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all know about Transcode Talker. I'll just go over a quick overview. You can pretty much summon a Link monster, Link 3 or lower Cyberse Link monster in your graveyard, except Transcode Talker. Because remember, even though we are a fire attribute deck, these are all Cyberse monsters. All the Salamangreats are all Cyberse, so even the Link ones. So basically, use him to get like this, and then you link it to this or Mech Knight, or it's a good card. Definitely a good card for link climbing, and yeah, people see this card and they just scoop. And there was even one time where I misplayed because I ended up using this guy to summon, and then I ended up bringing him out, and my opponent still gave up. I was like, dude, I actually misplayed, but hey, I'll take a win. You know what I mean? Then we have two Heat Leo. Heat Leo is a very good link monster in this deck because he basically is the answer to back row. You bring out Heat Leo, he basically can target one card of your opponent's spell and trap zone and shuffle it into the deck. So he's going to be able to get rid of like spell and traps, unwanted things, mirror forces, stuff like that. Or he's gonna get rid of it, or he's going to bait your opponent out into activating it. So, and then he has another ability which did come up a few times, to where if this card was link summoned using Salmagrate Heat Leo as material, you can target one face-up monster on the field and one monster in your graveyard. The attack of that first target becomes equal to the other targets until the end of this turn. So if you want me to just do an example, if you don't understand, basically, like let's say my opponent had Metal Fish on the field, right? And I bring out Heat Leo with his, other effect. So I'll be like, all right, I'll target your Metal Fish on your field, and I'll target like this Ash Blossom in my graveyard. Your Metal Fish will essentially become zero attack since Ash Blossom has zero attack. So yeah, Heat Leo is definitely a very good card you want to run to just for the utility of getting rid of back row. And he is 2300, so that's not too bad for a Link 3. Then we have Decode Talker Heat Soul. This guy is actually very good. I didn't bring him out that many times because it's kind of hard to bring him out in this deck because you need to bring out Transcode Talker, and sometimes, I don't have a way to bring out another monster when I summon Transcode Talker, because usually sometimes I use like stuff like this, to bring all that out, and it just doesn't work out. But when I did get him out, the few couple times I did bring him out, it was amazing and good. And definitely, this guy is worth a slot in this deck. Definitely. Then we have one of the, oh my god, this card right here, Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames. Oh my god, this card is so good in this deck. Amazing card. This card is an extender, and it applies pressure, and it's 2700, and it's easy to make. This card overperformed. Overperformed. Went way beyond my expectations. If you're going to be running any fire deck, you got to at least run one Promethean Princess. Please do yourself a favor. Craft her, pull her in a pack, and keep her. You just need one. She is so good for fire monsters. This card is amazing. This card is amazing. You got to run her. Then here, I'll go ahead and show you. You can go ahead and take a screenshot or pause the video and read her effects. So then we have Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. This guy is very good, very good. I'd bring this guy out and people would just quit the game. I didn't bring him out all that much because it's not. It is kind of easy to bring this guy out, but at the same time, sometimes you don't want to bring this guy out because he is a big investment to bring out. But there's a lot of decks in this game that cannot deal with this guy, and you bring him out and people just quit the game. So if you want to read his effect, we'll go ahead and you can go ahead and pause the video or take a screenshot, whatever you want to do. But yeah, that guy's amazing. And then we run two Salmagrate Pyro Phoenix. Now, you're probably thinking, why are you running that card? It's because I wanted a board wipe in my extra deck that wasn't access code talker. So Salmagrate Pyro Phoenix, when he's link summoned using Salmagrate Pyro Phoenix as material, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. So this messes up a lot of those decks like Labyrinth and just a lot of those decks that use a lot of back row, or just those decks that summon a lot of monsters and have a lot of board presence. Pyro Phoenix, you slap him down with Sanctuary on the board, and you just this you going. I'm taking you to Flavor Town, bam, 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 I'm taking you to Flavor Town. And he has some other effects, but those effects really never came up. But they're essentially effects to where if your opponent has Link monster in your graveyard, you can special summon it, and then you can like burn them for that, like and then you can attack too. It's okay, but I never used it in this tournament, so. And I have used it in previous duels prior to this tournament. Like, I've actually killed people with that combo, but yeah, I didn't use it at all in this tournament. Just the board wipe ability was enough. Like, I have people, I summon and then they just quit the game, you know what I mean? Then we have one access code talker. I don't think I brought this guy out at all in the entire tournament, but he's just there because he is very good, can set up OTKs, can pop a bunch of cards, can get real big. This guy is necessary if you're running if you're running a deck that can make it, just use it because it's very handy and very good. So that is the main and extra deck. We're gonna go ahead and get into some replays right now. Replays. I don't know how to say your name, but yeah, we went up against this person here. So let's see who we're going up against. Now, disclaimer here, this was the 42 card build that I was telling you about that I was running originally. And I had like kaijus and stuff. Like I said, I ended up making some edits and making some cuts. And I feel like they were for the best because it got me to D-level max. So we're going to start off by summoning Jack Jaguar. He's going to drop a Max C, and I drop an Ash Blossom on him because I do not want him to draw cards. Then I link off into Balinx. Balinx is going to attempt to get a search, and he drops the Ash Blossom on me. He does not want me to get that field spell. So I go ahead and discard Spinny to pump up Balinx by 500. And then you can also use the same, you can use both of his effects in one turn. I special summon Spinny since I control Balinx. And then we go ahead and link into Sunlight Wolf. Right, then we use Jack Jaguar. We shuffle the Balinx back to special summon Jack Jaguar to the link zone that Sunlight Wolf is pointing to. And then this was the combo I was telling you about. We activate Sunlight Wolf since a monster was special summoned to the zone that he pointed to. We recycle the Ash Blossom. Right, then we link off into Balinx again since I shuffled it back. And unfortunately, I can't get the field spell right now. But what we can do is we can link into Transcode Talker. And then we go ahead and use Transcode Talker. We special summon Sunlight Wolf. And then we go ahead and go into Decode Talker Heat Soul. And Decode Talker Heat Soul is going to help us dig and draw. Look, we just drew in the beard right there. That was amazing. That was amazing. So we're going to attempt to draw. He's going to go ahead and Widow Anchor me. But he's not going to be able to take control of Decode Talker Heat Soul, so that's okay. He just negates it, whatever. So he goes into Magician's Souls. I drop a Max C, no response on that. So I'm going to draw a couple cards here. He goes into Artemis, and then he goes Linkage. Basically, he's going to be able to summon a Sky Striker from his extra deck, even though he did not have a Sky Striker originally to make one. Excuse me. So yeah, he's gonna attack me direct. He's gonna dump one. So he wants his Ray engraved because he does not have it. So and then we're gonna go decode soccer heat soul, draw a card. I'm gonna go circle into Foxy. Foxy's gonna activate 3, and I'm gonna add 1. Oh, we actually get a roar. And then I'm gonna link, go into Bailings, get my field spell or attempt to, and he goes Widow Anchor on the Bailings. I end up chaining Foul to the summon of Bailings, and it does summon itself. And then I go into Mega Knight Crusade Max, like I told you, because I was thinking in my head at this point, Sky Striker will not be able to deal with this guy. And this guy knew it too, so that's why he ended up giving it up. Because I had plenty more plays to do, plenty more things to do, and there was nothing this guy could do. So we're going to go ahead and get into this duel here. I don't know how to say your name. Ooh, excuse me. So this hand is not that great. So this guy ends up popping Maxi immediately. So I had a feeling something was going on here. So I tested the waters by activating Circle in response to Maxi's activation. We go ahead and activate or add Jack Jaguar. And I summon Jack Jaguar and set one, and I pass the turn. And this was real bold of me right here, real bold. But I just had a feeling. Because I was actually on the phone with one of my buddies, Jxker, by the way. Check out his YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description of this video of Jxker's channel. Go ahead and check him out. And we ended up talking about Caveman Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was telling him, man, I hope this is that Caveman Yu-Gi-Oh! Match. And guess what? It was. This guy ended up setting 2 and setting the monster in defense mode. So I'm like, okay, so he ends up popping another Maxi. So I'm like, all right, let me just set it up a little bit. And he Ash Blossoms, unfortunately. I go ahead and activate, I chain Circle to the activation of Ash Blossom. And unfortunately, Gazelle is negated, but we go ahead and add, I believe it was Spinny or Foxy, one of those. And he ends up having the Ash Blossom phase down because he knew he was in a very bad spot. Very bad spot. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon Foxy to excavate 3. And we whiff on that one. We did not hit anything. And that's what I was talking about. Sometimes you won't hit. So he got Heat Leo, shuffling stuff back. Activate Sanctuary to try to get another back row up out of there. And he Ice Dragons prisons me. So, and now you're like, wait a minute. What just happened? How did you Spinny? So Spinny says if you control a Solomon Great card, you can discard this card and target one face-up monster field against 500 attack until the end of this turn. And I do have a face-up Solomon Great card. We have Solomon Great Sanctuary. So I was able to do that, and since a Solomon Great monster went to my graveyard, we're able to activate Gazelle, or summon Gazelle. And then I go ahead and send Falco, and this is why I run one Falco for stuff like this, just for a little utility. I go ahead and go Spinny, and I go into Mirage Stalio, which has 2,000 attack. And during this whole duel, I kind of had a feeling this guy had an infinite permanence, just by the way his toggle was acting. I was like, this guy has to have an imperm. I don't know what he's waiting for, but we're going to try, see if we could bait it out. And definitely Mirage Stalio was the bait, and he took it. And as you can see, this is what I was telling you about recycling Spinny, because remember, when Spinny uses this effect, it's banished, right? But if you use him as an Xyz material for Mirage Stalio, when you detach the Xyz material from a Xyz monster, they're technically not on the field, they're an Xyz material. So that whole banish effect, he never goes from the field to the graveyard. So yeah, he goes from being Xyz material to the graveyard. So the whole banish thing is kind of mitigated when you use stuff like when you use Mirage Stalio. So that's one reason why Spinny is good to make the Mirage Stalio in this deck. So he goes ahead and imperms, but I have 2,000 attacks, so I get over the Ash Blossom. And this is pretty much game right here. Yeah, he drew in the scoop. He knew he wasn't going to win. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this duel versus terraforming. And I was running Lady Debug in this duel. So we go Jack Jaguar and the Balinks. Balinks is gonna get us a search. I chain Gazelle. And then we get the Sanctuary and Gazelle takes a dump. I don't remember what I dumped. I think it was a spin. Actually, it was Roar. I ended up dumping Salamangreat Roar. So we go into the Ascension Link Summon. And then remember when Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf is Ascension Link Summon, you can add a Salamangreat Spark Trap from your deck to your hand. So that's why I dumped Roar with Gazelle. So then Jack Jaguar, shuffle back the other Sunlight Wolf, and since he special summoned to the zone Sunlight Wolf is pointing to, that will trigger Sunlight Wolf. I'll get Gazelle back, and I'm feeling good right now, man. I got 3 back rows. 3 back rows, yes. So we're going up against Trap Tricks, and I knew that this guy needed that monster on the field, which is why I roared it, because one, you won't get the effect to search or set or whatever it does, and then you won't be able to make your little Trap Tricks Link monster that is very annoying. So yeah, he says 2, and in his turn I did play it right here. It was the right decision to roar that. So he ends up popping Maxi, and I end up called by the Graven. So I end up getting Roar back to my hand, and he sees exactly where this duel is going, and he ends up giving up. Because yeah, I was about to go crazy. So now we have this other duelist here. Let's see what they're working with. Alright, so this hand is hella sketch right here. I cannot play the game. So Foolish Burial Goods goes into the Ice Jade search card, and I negate it. And low-key, this guy hella brick too, so we both kind of got screwed over by all that. So then we have Foxy, that's my starter, and I end up hitting a very good card, which is Circle. Then we go ahead and Circle into Gazelle. We'll go ahead and link off Foxy, and the Balinks. Balinks get a search, chain Gazelle. Right? Like, this deck is very consistent. You're going to see this combo a lot. I can definitely tell you that. So then we essentially like summon, Sunlight Wolf, we'll add Rage back, and then I'll set 2 and pass. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions. Because remember, Rage will count as 2. So yeah, we end up popping Rage, pop his back row and his monster, and then the other monster he revealed to try to equip to that guy also goes to the graveyard. So yeah, he gave up. He ended up giving it up real quick, man. All right, now we're gonna be going up against Havoc. All right, this hand's kind of good. It's not even gonna lie. So we go Circle into Foxy, and then Foxy will reveal 3, and I will add Rage. And this is what I was talking about, where you could kind of recycle the traps if you get them, and then if you sign that mining them, you know. So we got Balinks. Balinks is gonna search. I chain Gazelle. You're gonna see this play a lot. That Gazelle, Balinks into Gazelle. You're gonna see that a lot. So I believe we ended up dumping a card. We ended up getting the Roar into the graveyard. So we essentially Link Summon and a Sunlight Wolf. And then since I knew that I needed some sort of protection, I ended up actually using that second effective Roar to set it, but it will be banished when it leaves the field. So, and then we activate Sunlight Wolf to go ahead and grab Rage back. So we have like 4 or 5 disruptions right now. This is actually versus Pendulums, I believe. So yeah, so he's doing his Pendulum thing. I said, you ain't searching. You're not searching. You're not searching, bro. I do not want you to search. I do not want you to activate triple tactics talent. I do not want you to do everything. So then I go ahead and pull the trigger after he plays Monkey Board. I pull the trigger on Rage and pop both. But as you're going to see, that was a mistake. So he's going crazy with the Pendulum now. He is having a blast right now. So he's gonna end up pendulum summoning a bunch of monsters, and I drop him with a big fat Nibiru on him. Big fat Nibiru on him. So, and then we go ahead and hit the blowout card to get rid of his pendulum scales. He's gonna add star pendulum graph due to double irises effect. And then we just proceed the whole entire Salmagate combo once again. Promethean Princess, Sunlight Wolf, get back Rage, set 2, pass. So we're feeling confident right now. This guy has nothing in his hand. He had one card, my bad. So this guy just tries to go for the one shot, and I say, no, you're not gonna one shot me, bro. So he goes Cashier Fenrir, and I'm like, okay, I guess in defense mode. So I just simply beat over the Fenrir, and then we go start doing more shenanigans. This time I'm super set right now. I am super duper set right now. So I believe he's going to go Unicorn. He's going to try to attack. My Balinx will banish himself to keep him alive, and he ends up quitting because he knows exactly where this is going to go next turn. He knows. I know. Everyone knows. Alright, so then we have this duel versus Bojchich Evoli. I don't know how to say it, man. I'm sorry for butchering your name. That is not easy to pronounce in English. So this hand is actually pretty solid right here. I have extenders. I have ways to start my plays. So we go Gazelle into Foul, dump Roar, Balinx, go into the field spell. Then we're going to make 2, go into Sunlight Wolf. We're going to go into the Sanctuary and go for another Sunlight Wolf. And yeah, this guy is a Labyrinth deck. I said, nah, you ain't doing King Backjack, dude. No, you're not. No, you're not. So I end up grabbing some cards back. We have Rage and Roar face down, dude. We're looking real pretty right now. So he goes Ariane. For some reason, he ends up summoning it to the zone Sunlight Wolf is pointing to. So I end up grabbing an Ash Blossom back. I don't know why he did that, but okay. So I end up popping his 2 cards that he just set. And yeah, he gives it up because yeah, there's no coming back from something like that at all. All right, now we have this one. I don't know what your name is. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm not even going to disrespect you like that. And this hand's okay. It's not the best starting hand, but it's not the worst either. So we go over the Foxy, get the Search, and we whiff. We whiff hard. So we go Balinx. So I already have Gazelle in hand, so the combo's going to work. We're going to get the Sanctuary. We're going to go ahead and take a dump for Rage. We're going to go Sunlight Wolf, activate the Sanctuary, make summon Sunlight Wolf for Sunlight Wolf. And then I get Rage back, and I set 2 and pass. So we have, what, 4 interruptions here? Another Labyrinth deck, yo. Another Labyrinth deck. I completely shut down Labyrinth decks, to be honest. So Ariane, I'm like, nope. Ariana Grande, no, I don't want Ariana Grande, come on. So yeah, I go ahead and roar that Welcome Labyrinth, and then we go ahead and pop 2 cards. So you see how good Rage is, like. So we're gonna go ahead and get some cards back. He's gonna go ahead and use Welcome Labyrinth, and I had the other Ash Blossom. And now you see why Ash Blossom is such a powerful card. I literally got this dude to quit the game. All right, so we got Jerf. Jerf, oh Jerf, you son of a bitch, Jerf. I swear, dude, you were pissing me off that entire game. I swear you were, bro. And this hand is crazy. So I get a Search, I go Gazelle into Spinny, and then Spinny was supposed to summon itself. Go into Mirage Stalio. Mirage Stalio detached is supposed to summon Jaguar. I'll use Jack Jaguar to go into Balinks. Then I'll use these two to go into Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Then I'll shuffle back Mirage Stallion for Jack Jaguar. I get a person back from my graveyard. Then we get Gazelle. I go Promethean Princess. And then Promethean Princess is Sunlight Wolf and a Sunlight Wolf. And then I go ahead and get a circle back because, I mean, why not? So this guy ends up starting off with, ooh, my back was itchy. So he ends up starting off with New Frontier, then he summons Kit, and let's see the log, what did he do? He activates Kit, and then he adds Branded Opening. So he uses Branded Opening to summon a Luber, and I'm like, no. Then he uses Druid's Worm. I'm like, alright, I guess. And I'm drawing cards this whole time. And then he summoned the dude to the zone that Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf was pointing to. And I was like, if I lose a monster here, it's okay. And he chooses Promethean Princess of all the monsters he could summon, and he adds Fallen of Albaz. You know, I'm not really too worried about that because I have plenty of ways to stop that guy. So yeah, I'm gonna start going crazy right here. Guys. I'm getting everything I need right now. Everything I need. We're gonna go Heat Leo. Look, the reason I messed up because I thought that I could shuffle the field spell back, but it's okay. I couldn't because not technically the spell and trap zone. It's in the field zone, so yeah, this guy really thought, oh, and this is what I was talking about. Reason why I said it was okay, because we went into the Link 4 Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix. So he's thinking he's really doing the big, so he, in desperation, summons Fallen Albaz to really try to get rid of Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix. But we got the Imperm to stop that guy. And guess what, buddy? Ascension Link Shogun. And boom, this is exactly why I wanted to run this card in this deck. Just for that simple gratification of blowing up all my opponent's stuff. So we put, look, see, we didn't even need Sunlight Wolf. We used Jack Jaguar to shuffle back the Pyro Phoenix. And now we have Pyro Phoenix set up for next turn again. So this is why I did stuff like this. So he goes Spriggan's Kit to try to add one or spell summon or whatever. And I negate it with Ash Blossom. And yeah, he pretty much just gave up on life at this point. Because there's really no coming back from something like this. Once it's literally at this point, you have 2 cards. I have like what, like 10 cards, 11 cards? Yeah, bro, you're in a very bad predicament. So we do the Essential Link Summon for Sunlight Wolf. Get Circle back. Go ahead and start attacking. And we're good. We're good right now. I got Call by Grey Face now. I got everything right now. Yeah, we're just gonna roar that. And yeah, he scoops. Yep. Alright, Jerf, you just got owned, my boy. Then we have Wenzon. Wenzon is was definitely a fun duel. So let's see what Wenzon is working with right now. Alright, so this hand is kind of crazy, but it's filled with hand traps, so he activates Maxi off rip. I Ash Blossom Maxi. Get Gazelle with Circle, and we're gonna start the entire combo here. I wasn't too worried because I'm not really adding anything. You do with Balinks, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I can't add it to the field spell. So we go Jack Jaguar into Balinks. So I have to go into Balinks for the protection. Then we go into Sunlight Wolf. Then we do Jack Jaguar, shuffling back Mirage Stallion. Then we activate Sunlight Wolf's effect, recycling Ash Blossom. Then I'm going to link 3 into Promethean Princess. Use her effect to summon Sunlight Wolf, and then use those 2 to go into another Sunlight Wolf. And then now that his effect, he's been summoned using a Link monster with the same name as material, I can add back a Salamangreat spell or trap, and we go with Salamangreat Circle. So if you count here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 disruptions and 2 protections. But actually, I didn't set circle. I guess I wanted it for next turn. So he goes Regeki. I banish Phalanx. He summons Cashier Offender, activates effect. I roar that. And then he summons Rise Heart and quits the game because he realizes he cannot do anything. So you see the power that this deck can hold, even versus some of the top decks in the game right now. And now we're going to be getting into the last replay versus, I don't know how to pronounce or say your name. But yeah, you definitely gave my rank up. And we're going to see Foxy come into play here. The second effect of Foxy. So this guy right here, I believe he has a runic deck. So he activates Tip to get Fountain. Then he activates Fountain, and he sets a bunch of cards. So I'm kind of worried right now, but I said, you know what? I gotta play the game. So we're gonna go Signet Mining, discard Jaguar into Foxy, and then Foxy is going to summon itself, and I'm going to Chain Foul. But look, check out what my opponent does right here. He activates there can only be one, and then he chains with Goes and Match. Goes and Match doesn't really hurt this deck, but definitely there can only be one does. So he's running like Floodgate deck Runic. So we'll go ahead and excavate with Foxy and reveal Falco. And I'm like, okay, you know, workable. I can only attack you for 1,000. Hopefully this guy doesn't have anything to try to stop me or try to kill my guy. So he goes Kaiser Coliseum and ends his turn. So I'm like, all right, yeah, take another 1,000, buddy. Yeah, throughout this whole duel, I was really hoping for Harpy's Fairy Duster. At the end of the day, I didn't need it, so you know, battle phase, he's gonna go with Runic Freezing Curse. Then he's gonna summon Frecky. He's gonna attack, kill my Foxy, and he's gonna banish the top 2 cards of my deck, which is the Spinny and the Will. So end phase, we chain circle, get another Foxy, and this is where Foxy comes into play right here. So we discard Falco to summon Foxy, and I'm going to be able to pop that. There can only be one. And then Falco activates, setting circle to the field. And I just pass the turn because like this guy can't do anything. Yeah, he tries to card demise. I Ash Blossom the hell out of that thing. You are not drawing more cards, buddy. You're going to stick with what you got. Yeah. And reason he ended up quitting was because he knew exactly what was going to happen. I was going to start abusing Foxy and popping all the spell traps that are important. So he ended up quitting because he knew it was a losing battle. So, and that was the duel that took me into D.LVL MAX. So for all y'all out there that are playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you're doing good in Duelist Cup. Even if you're just going in for currency, do it. Because that's originally why I was in the duels, to get currency for more cards. But yeah, I ended up actually taking it all the way to the top. And like I said, I feel super pumped up about this. And yeah, that was a hell of a first round for the Duelist Cup. So like I said, for anybody who watches, thank you for watching. I hope you could hit me with a like or subscribe. I would definitely appreciate that if you could hit me with a like and a subscribe. I'm always putting out different gaming content and just content in general. So definitely check some of my other videos in this channel. I have a whole playlist of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and other playlists of other live streams of games that I enjoyed or just wanted to try out and play for the channel. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy this deck list. It took me to the top. And I know that it could also take you to the top as well, as long as you play smart, you know what I mean? So this is GamerZero signing out, and I'll catch y'all later. Y'all take care. Have a nice night, day, evening, wherever you at in the world. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out and deuces, y'all.